Before we go into the ideas section, let me just tell you how I got my ideas from my novels. And hopefully, as I share it, you will be inspired and you will see what my thinking process is like, and it will help you probably to develop your own thinking process. I won't tell you about all my books because there are so many books. I'll probably just tell you about the ones which I actually remember the distinct moment where I got that idea. So, for one of my books, It Happens for a Reason, the story is about a single mother. So, there was this Twitter account which I followed, this was many years back, so I've forgotten the name of the account. But it was the handle of a single mom, and she was tweeting all the stuff that she did with her child. She has a daughter, and there was all this fun stuff that she was doing with her child. And I said, oh wow, what a cool personality. Why don't I create a character like that and write a novel about her? And of course, the rest of it was imaginary, but that was the starting point of that idea, which later turned into the novel It Happens for a Reason. And then there's this book of mine called It's All in the Planets. And that's there it's a story about a young man and a young girl, and there's an astrological prediction given at the start of each chapter, and by the end of that chapter we come to know whether that prediction came true or not. So, how this idea came to me, I was traveling from Delhi to Chandigarh, and in fact, I was going for the launch of my previous book. And I happened to open the newspaper. I was sitting in Shatabdi, and I happened to open the newspaper and I read the zodiac sign. All of us have this habit of just opening the paper and reading this zodiac sign. And then I thought to myself, does this actually come true? Do people just casually read about it and forget about it? And then I said, okay, what if I write a book with this prediction? I take one prediction and I write a chapter about it. And at the end of the chapter, the reader gets to know, has it come true or has it not come true? I thought, oh, that would be a fantastic idea for a book. And I developed it further. As the days went by, I thought about it. And that's how I got the idea for It's All in the Planets. Now take another book of mine, which is the most recent book, 100 Little Flames. And how I got the idea for that, one morning I had gone for a walk, and when I came back, I took out my father's old diary. It was lying outside actually, and I don't know how it was lying outside. Probably somebody was cleaning the bookshelf or something like that, and they must have left it outside. And I turned the pages of the diary, and I found a few pages missing. So that set me thinking. I said, okay, that story can be about a diary. And on that very day, I had a conversation with my mother where she talked to me about old people and how a lot of old people were being abandoned. They were abandoned by their children, they were neglected, and what she said shocked me. So, both these incidents, the fact that I had found that diary lying outside and then the old people being abandoned, both those things stuck in my head. And as the weeks went by, I kept thinking about it and I said, why not I write a novel about it? Where I take, there has to be some connection between a diary and an old person. And that's how I got the idea for that book. And I used experiences from my life. For example, the cover in that book, there's a house in that cover, this house, and it's exactly like the ancestral home. It's exactly like my ancestral home. And that was the starting point of that book. So you see, ideas are everywhere. Ideas can come to you from daily life. It can come to you from places where you don't expect it to come from. It can come from conversations. I can get ideas from everywhere. But I think what is really important is to take the time out from our daily life to think about these ideas, to develop these ideas. I do feel all of us lead a very rushed life. We are rushing from one place to another place, and we really don't allow ourselves to daydream. And I think it's very important to daydream. You have to keep thinking. You have to kind of let your mind wander. It's like allowing your mind to come out and play. That's when you get ideas from. Now, fortunately for me, I have a dog and my dog needs a lot of walks. So when I take her on her walks, she needs at least 3 walks a day. So, what I do is I just keep thinking because, that's my idle time. And when I was based in the UK, my idle time was, I didn't have a dog then. So I had to do the dishes, you know. So my idle time was when I was doing the dishes. So I found that ritual very comforting. As the dishes got clean, I allowed my mind to wander, and I found that there were so many ideas drifting in and out. Now, how do we capture those ideas? How do we, how do we develop them later into stories? Watch my next lectures.